At that time, there was a huge Santa Cruz Veriflex rivalry. They were the stylish, aggressive guys, and the Veriflex guys were the more mechanical, very trick-oriented guys.
Here's a Santa Cruz dudes that really don't care about the rest of this whole community of skateboarding. And then the rest of the community of skateboarding really didn't care about the Santa Cruz dudes because the Santa Cruz dudes would spit on these dudes.
It was almost like a soap opera at the contest.
Such the rad thing at that point, you know what I mean? It was just like us against them. It was like, you know, the punk rockers against the straighties.
And there would be like almost fights here, it'd be antagonizing here, it'd be spitting on people here. They definitely liked to push people's buttons back then.
And then you had your speed and style guys versus the trick guys. Dwayne versus the Veriflex team, downtown versus down south. And then you got the Badland guys with their whole turf, polished images, the Bones Brigade. And then you got Hosoi versus Hawk, Daggers versus the Ramp Locals.
North versus South, good versus evil, McDonald's versus Jack in the Box.
Doesn't really matter, but back then it was like definitely divided.
And you know, even now, once again, the Masters, you got Dwayne versus Eddie, so it seems like it's never really gone away. There's going to be rivalries in skateboarding of different attitudes and opinions of speed and style versus crazy tricks and perfection, you know.
Dwayne played on that, and yet he didn't analyze it.
It was real as shit. You wouldn't go home and think about these guys. It's just when they're in your face.
He had a really bitchin' bent arm style that only an Orange County old school surf skater would know. He's got his arms up, you know, he's like he's fighting or something.
Put your elbow in the air and just go as fast as you can. Then he gets in your way, bang, bang. And that's Dwayne's style.
Grasso first pointed that out to me, how to actually feel like a real skateboarder. You have to do that.
You have to point your finger on an ass drop. You have to. If you don't, you might as well not even do a fucking ass drop.
So we would roll in and point, and it was actually, it worked.
He would like actually hold on, where most everyone else would like jump. He would still try to make it.
He had that crazy attitude and just the whole like, hey, I don't even care if I'm gonna get hurt.
His style is unique, man. It's just fucking the master's disaster.
And I was skating with Salba. Well, I wasn't skating with them. Salba and Dwayne were skating the half pipe, and I just kind of creeped over there like, oh, those guys are here, you know. And Dwayne sees me coming, and he can tell I'm, you know, starstruck, and he just spits right at me. He's like, this is punk rock, kid. And I was like, oh, just completely crushed.
I think Dwayne helped the fucking marriage of punk rock and skateboarding.
Being a skateboarder doesn't just mean being the best one, you know. I mean, people like Dwayne and Jay Adams and Tony Alva and Steve Olson. I mean, these guys, they were incredible skaters, but it was their personality and their style and their attitude that made them as important to skateboarding as anything else.
Dwayne would take fucking kids in the bathroom and cut their hair off.
Blow out razor parties in the bathroom and give them a new name, butch their hair.
He cut our hair, and that was the thing, because everybody's getting their hair cut at Big O, right?
It all starts with that first haircut. That first haircut was a sign that you were the enemy against society, and we need to kill you.
You had to get a haircut because it was no hippies, it was kill hippies.
I mean, Dwayne fucking took punk rock to where he thought it should go.
The whole industry was afraid of him, and a lot of skaters were too. I mean, you know, punk rock was still kind of new. You know, people just didn't understand what the fuck he was doing, and sometimes that was on purpose. He didn't want anyone to understand what he was doing, right? And he was just as belligerent as it got. But at the same time, it's like they cared more about their bands than they did about skating. You know what I mean? And I would see those guys at gigs more than I would at the skate park.
By then, Dwayne was as much a punk rocker as he was a skateboarder, neither of which went over well with his old man. In his eyes, Dwayne was a skateboarding bum who played shitty music with his loser buddies. That hurt Dwayne, but it also pushed him harder.
Fuck society, and fuck you dad, and fuck you mom, and fuck you boss, and fuck the world, and fuck you too, and you.
We pretty much were fueling the fire for punk rock music as well as for skateboarding. That was just how it was. You skated during the days, you hung out and did your thing, and at night you went to the clubs and you went to go see bands play, and we were all in bands.
Johnny Rotten said it, you know, anybody can put their own band together, so why couldn't we? You know, why couldn't the skaters?
It's like learning how to skateboard. We were learning how to play instruments.
Fuck, let's get a band together. Barkley, my best friend. What can you put? Bass, all right? Now, it's something easy for me, I'll sing.
When we started out, we played at his dad's garage, mall punk club, you know, wherever we could.
What's the first song? I don't want to be 30. 30's fucking dead. That's how you do it, look.
And these guys, being the skaters, I mean, even at the gigs, they were the most radical ones there too, and Dwayne got really into it. You know, bracelets with nails coming out of him, his fucking hair shaved on the sides, black on the top, blonde with swastikas and shit all over himself, and he was just so hardcore punk right away.
I'm just a weirdo, I guess. I don't know, I'd like it.
Just before skateboarding's second plunge in popularity, a new generation of rookie pros were clawing for the torch, but Dwayne wasn't about to hand it over.
Some of the park skaters of the day left. The people that came in for the next season, and Dwayne's still right there, is Caballero and Tony Hawk and Christian Hosoi and Grigowski. I mean, 4 names that are just all time right there.
You couldn't just show up and do the same tricks you did at the last contest. You better be learning the tricks that other guy did that won, and you better be coming up with some new tricks.
It was a whole new guard, and it was a really strange time in skating. It was very transitional.
He thought their skating failed with respect to style and attitude. DP stuck to his guns and battled balls out against younger riders, many of whom would rise to legendary status during the late 80s halfpipe era. During the 1982 turkey shoot contest at Whittier, Dwayne's hold on the top of his game weakened, and the final blow would come from a young, unstoppable Tony Hawk skating in his first ever pro contest.
Well, my first pro contest was the turkey shoot at Whittier. It was like 1982, and I remember I went pro by checking the pro box for the entry form. That's what it took to go pro in those days. and a lot of my peers were going pro, Billy Ruff, Neil Blender, Lester Kasai. You know, we'd all grown up skating together in the amateur series, so we just decided to go for it.
But he had one Converse and one Vans. He looks over to me and he's just like, "Rip it up, rookie," you know, mocking me, like just kind of getting under my skin or whatever. "Okay, 2 shoes."
Dwayne just hung a big loogie in Mike Smith's helmet and like, "Good luck." So he knew how to get inside the head.
In the finals, it was a head-to-head format, which means you pick 2 guys and they skate one against the other, and the winner advances, and the loser goes to the loser bracket. And I came up against Dwayne at some point in the event.
Dwayne Peters, these guys go head on head. It's 2 minutes, whatever. Dwayne's up first.
But she's a modern machine, she's a modern machine. She's a modern machine, she's a modern machine. The old is the new, now the new is the old, and you gotta realize. I've been passing my time like a Disney rhyme, what was it I was trying to hide? She's a modern machine, she's a modern machine. Oh, she's a modern machine, she's a modern machine. She's are real, I could almost feel the jump like the next scene, la 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 la. She's are real, I could almost feel, but just like shit alive. She's a modern machine, she's a modern machine. She's a modern machine, she's a modern machine. She's a modern machine, she's a modern machine. She's a modern machine, she's a modern
I'm sure he didn't remember that I was the kid he spit on in Colton so many years ago, but I did.
Tony Hawk beats out Dwayne Peters at 86.66.
And I ended up beating him and going around the corner and yelling to myself, like, "Yeah, I beat Dwayne, yes!" And just come back trying to be all calm about it. And I I think that was probably his last event, from what I remember. That event was kind of the swan song for the old crew, you know, the Steve Olson, Steve Alba, Mickey Alba, even Eddie didn't compete after that.
I didn't think they could take our place. I thought the new tricks that they were coming up with were so fucking corny that they wouldn't fly. That's why that contest hurt. Because it was like, come on, you're fucking kidding me, man.